Hi there, my magical star beings. This is Psychic Siren Tarot, and welcome to the channel. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at how people used to view you in the past. So please be aware this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. And please also note how people view us doesn't necessarily mean we are that way. Okay, so these are kind of like people's opinions of us, so just keep that in mind while listening. We have 3 piles to choose from. For the first pile, pile number 1, we have the Pyrite Crystal and the Light Seers Tarot. For the second pile, pile 2, we have the Golden Cat's Eye Crystal and the Sacred Sisterhood Tarot. And for pile number 3, we have Larimar with the Tarot of the Divine. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile. Pick whichever pile you're most drawn to, the one that is calling out to your soul the most, and that will be a pile for today. But of course, if you're drawn to more than one pile, there may be more messages there for you. Once you're done picking a pile, please find the timestamps for your pile in the description box below, and then I'll see you at your reading. Hi there, my pile number 1s. If you chose this Pyrite Crystal and the Light Seers Tarot, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at how people used to view you in the past, okay? Please be aware this is a general reading, and also please note how people viewed you doesn't necessarily mean that you are that type of person. Okay, so before I actually get started with pulling your cards, I feel guided to feeling into the energy and closing my eyes to use a bit of clairvoyance. So I'm seeing in the past something about gymming or health, fitness, or people may have viewed you as very healthy or fit based on the way your body looked at the time. I don't know how it looks currently, but even if you didn't gym a lot in the past or didn't necessarily take care of your body, there's something about people getting the impression that you're a very healthy and fit person. Some may have viewed you as very good with handy things, like Spirit was showing me fixing things in the home or something like that. That's not going to resonate with everyone, but Spirit is also showing me people almost depicting you or viewing you to be sort of like a swan, very graceful pile 1, very talented. And in the way that you're so talented, that you do things and you make it seem so effortless, people also viewed you in the past as quite a pure soul, because swans are white, so they remind me of a pure soul, and they have that gentle, loving quality to them. Swans are also monogamous, so I view swans as creatures that embody a trait or quality of loyalty, and people may have viewed you as very loyal in the past, okay? Spirit is also showing me the Libra scales, indicating people thought you were very balanced. But then on top of these Libra scales, we see the energies of fire on both sides. So people saw you in the past as a very passionate person that has a lot of energy or has a lot of drive, motivation, and determination to get where you want in life. But you allow that fire to burn bright and to not be dimmed in any way, or to not let that goal of going after what you want put you off balance in terms of, how do I put this in words? In terms of working so hard that maybe you get burnt out, or in terms of being so determined that we maybe don't. It's like we have so much motivation and passion that we don't take the step. I don't see people looking at you like that. So I see people looking at you as a person that has that motivation, drive, passion to get where you want in life, but it comes through in a very balanced way where the fire doesn't burn out after time. It stays lit and you stay balanced as you move towards your endeavors. Though I feel if the scales did tip a little bit and at times you did feel unbalanced or feel unmotivated and had to push yourself, maybe you were learning lessons surrounding that, because people sometimes just see the outside. They don't see how we're feeling in that. And if you did deal with certain wounds around the solar plexus, I felt solar plexus energies from your pile, which is around self-worth, the way we view ourselves and our own personal power. If you did deal with moments or instances where you didn't fully see your worth or fully see your potential at times, I feel like you worked on it or you worked through it as time went by and you learned to balance that energy out. So now let's take a look at your cards. So we're going to start out with one oracle card from this Astral Realms Crystal Oracle, and then we're going to use tarot for you. You have so many cards wanting to come out. Let's just take one. We have turquoise with the earth chakra, earth element. Why am I saying earth chakra? And perseverance, card 12. So this is what we were talking about, maybe I saw fire, but we see earth energy here. So people could have perceived you to either be very earthy or very fiery in the past. Doesn't matter what your zodiac sign is. It's just maybe the energy you are embodying. And I think people saw you as a person that was very focused, determined to get to where you want in life. Especially since you chose the pyrite crystal, people saw you as a very goal-orientated person. When it comes to your physical life, when it comes to school, your career, your physical life, building your physical life and becoming the version of yourself you want to be in the physical. So people very much saw you as that person that never gave up on themselves, even in moments when you felt like you couldn't keep going. You built a steady and firm, stable foundation for yourself, and people saw you as very disciplined in the past. Okay? Very much creating this stable foundation for yourself with the earth element. People saw you as very stable, grounded. But with that groundedness comes also a lot of motivation and passion. So, spirit guides of pile number ones, how did people view them in the past? We have the Chariot showing up first. How did people view them in the past? We have the Devil. We have the Judgment card. How did people view pile one in the past? We have the Two of Wands. We have the Ten of Swords. How did people view them in the past? The Queen of Wands. Okay, let's just move this up a little bit. Okay, I'll fix and organize them in a bit. Clarify the Chariot, please, spirit guides of pile one. We have the Two of Swords. We have the Page of Pentacles. Clarify the Devil and Judgment. Five of Wands. Is this true? We have the Ace of Cups. Okay, clarify the Two of Wands, please. We have the Ace of Swords. Clarify the Ten of Swords, please. The Two of Pentacles. I love that this came out since we were speaking about balance. Okay. Clarify the Queen of Wands, please. We have the Star and the Five of Pentacles. And at the back of the deck, we have the Seven of Pentacles. So my pile number one's how people viewed you in the past. What Spirit is letting me know is I feel a lot of you maybe never grew up in a stable environment, or like I'm seeing one of you, for example, move around a lot, have to travel a lot as a child, or maybe not have the physical, financial stability growing up as a child, or it could even be emotional, but I feel for a lot of you it had to do with the physical. Or I'm even seeing a scenario where a lot of you had instances at home, for example, where let's say you had so many siblings and it felt very much like you weren't getting much attention, or things just felt very chaotic in the home growing up, or in your environment growing up. It was anything but stable for a lot of you. And if that doesn't resonate, that's okay, but that's what I'm seeing for a lot of you here. And so I feel as life has gone by, I feel you've maybe try to think about how you can create the stability for yourself, how you can create this stable foundation for yourself, how you can choose to almost like level up within your own life. And the devil here is Capricorn energy. So I have a feeling it has to do with finances, career, goals, our physical life, okay, our physical stability, our physical foundation. And I feel the influence of Saturn energy in your pile, where you may have not had the easiest life in the past, where people never really saw the tough lessons you had to go through. Those that were close to you, though, did see it, maybe did see some of these challenging moments. The Five of Pentacles, like indicates a lack. So there was a lack of something here that you were wishing for, that you were hoping for with the Star. But I feel maybe you had to go out there and get it for yourself. You had to go out there and fight for it yourself. Learn with the Page of Pentacles. So if I had to translate this into an example, let's say you grew up in a home with not a lot of money. Maybe with the Page of Pentacles, you were so determined to learn at school and to get good grades and to really succeed in a way. And then people may have mistranslated that as you being very competitive with the Five of Wands, as you almost like caring too much or obsessing too much about wealth, or about succeeding or stability, or like leveling up in some way with the Chariot and the Pyrite. So I don't actually see you that way in the past. I think people misunderstood you, pile one. And I say don't take this too hard, because I think people never saw, even with the blindfold here, people never saw why your life circumstances led you to make these choices. And even if there was an obsession, I feel, what is wrong with that? You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that, because you were just trying to probably get yourself out of this tough situation and tough place of restriction with the Saturn influence. So in your reading, I see people maybe viewing you as a little bit more competitive, or there is this kind of obsession to get to the top, to sort of quote unquote be the best. But I think those that are viewing you in that way are very much coming across as judgmental, because they don't fully see your situation or what led to those decisions. And even so, even if it is none of their business. But that's what I'm seeing here. I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to be honest. But I think you were highly misunderstood in the past. In the past, people viewed you as someone that really made a choice, was very determined to level up in some way, learn more, gain more information, gain more knowledge on, school, studies, just bettering yourself in terms of physical aspects, opportunities you want to go after. People saw you as someone in the past that is very open to learning with the Ace of Swords, that has a very incredible mind. Okay, you could have been very good in your subjects at school or in your earlier life. People could have just seen a lot of potential, for you to succeed in some way, for you to really get to where you want to be with the leveling up here in the Chariot. Because they saw this perseverance you had. They saw the intelligence you had. And they saw that you really had what it takes to get to the top. They saw that you really stick to this decision. Okay? People saw you in the past as someone that is always open to learning and growing as well. And I think those that truly know you, knew your situation, saw you as someone very much like loving, in touch with your heart, very loyal, very generous. You do anything for those you love. Very protective over those you love. So I think those that truly knew you, truly knew your heart, wouldn't misunderstand you. But other people from your past viewed you as someone that kind of went out there and had what it takes to improve your life in a very huge way. Queen of Wands again shows you having a lot of passion, having that determination, being someone extremely independent and headstrong. This is how people viewed you in the past. People also viewed you as someone that had this kind of leadership quality where you inspire others to also think big within their own life, to also believe in themselves, to also follow their heart. So pile one, when people are viewing us in a certain way, we can look at it from both sides. Other people were very inspired by you, were very much looking at you like the star, like someone that shined bright, like someone that truly inspired them with the Queen of Wands and the star, to also follow their passions, to also not let their physical circumstances get them down, but instead focus on the mind, their mindset, and pushing forward. So with the Ten of Swords opposite the Two of Pentacles, people that were really inspired by you saw you as a person in the past that you didn't let that situation get you down. You didn't let it keep you stuck. Although you were in that situation and it may have been hard to stay positive in some way and stay hopeful in some way, you still remained hopeful. You still remained optimistic. You trusted in the divine. Even though there was no physical stability yet, you created that stability within, from within. And I think people from your past really looked up to you in some way, where they really wanted to follow in your footsteps. So you have one group of people that are viewing you as very competitive, whereas you have another group of people that are viewing you as very smart. You have a lot of potential. You are an inspiration, a leader. Okay? Someone really determined and headstrong. So what does this tell us about these two perspectives? it tells us more about them than you. So these group of people, I'd probably assume that they're not really goal orientated. Maybe they viewed you as competitive because maybe they were competitive and they were projecting their own things, or maybe they were jealous because they were lazy, or maybe it's none of that. Maybe in this lifetime they're not meant to focus too much on the physical and they're more so meant to focus on the heart, but they don't necessarily get you because they're not going through the same things you are. But what does it tell us about this group here of people? It tells us that they're also inspired by you. So it tells us that, although people can view us in one way, does that really determine who we are? No. So I think what I want you to take from this reading is some may look at us and have their own preconceived notions, but when we look back at it, maybe they changed their mind on you. Because in the beginning of the reading, if you remember, I channeled this swan message. And we have the 7 of Pentacles at the back of the deck. So I think people are seeing you with the stable foundation now. I'm going to have a video come out with how people view you currently, but I think now people are seeing you as someone that has that stable foundation you've created for yourself. I think people now are seeing you as someone very inspirational and someone very loyal, very connected to your heart space, very talented. So this is where I'm going to leave your reading, Pal 1. I really hope this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye! Hi there, my pile number 2s. If you chose this golden cat's eye crystal and the sacred sisterhood tarot, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at how people viewed you in the past before, okay, how people used to view you. So please be aware this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. Please also note how people used to view you doesn't determine who you are or your character. This is merely their opinion of you, okay, and their perception of you. So I feel called to closing my eyes and feeling into the energy, kind of getting messages through clairvoyance and feeling. So how did people view pile 2 in the past, spirit guides of pile 2? Okay, so spirit is showing me a book, and we've taken this book and we've thrown it into the fire. Quite interesting. That tells me there is a story here of you going through life, writing the book of your own story, of your own life, and releasing, burning away the negative memories that held you back. Maybe from childhood, from teenage years, from young adulthood. I don't know what phase of life this was, but you no longer wanted to commit to this phase of life. You no longer wanted to be associated to this phase of your life. People viewed you in the past as someone that is trying to let go of a previous image or sort of reputation you had or sort of life you had, and completely rebirth yourself, completely rewrite your story and take the story into your own life. Take the story into your own hands and enter the driver's seat of your life. I'm hearing courage the cowardly dog becomes courage. So maybe people saw you as very fearful in the past, but we're still reading the past, so maybe people once saw you as fearful and it changed to more courageous, which is quite interesting. Let's take a look at your cards. I want to get some more information. So people viewed you in the past to be someone that created this huge rebirth and completely rebranded yourself, completely changed in some way, transformed in some way, and you wanted to take back control of your life. Okay, so we're using the Astral Realms Crystal Oracle Spirit Guides of Pile 2. May I please look into how people viewed them in the past? So we have Fluoride with Asturian and Introspection, card 15. And I'm noticing how my body feels during your reading. And I'm noticing I feel quite tensed up. So maybe you didn't have the best circumstances. And I see you being viewed as a person that is very in touch with your heart, very in touch with your own emotions. I see people viewing you in the past as someone that is going on a path of introspection, a path of self-discovery, putting your focus within to heal yourself, to better yourself, to understand yourself better, to understand your emotions better, your emotional reactions. Like, why am I feeling this way? And how can I improve the quality of my life through the feelings, through the emotional aspects? I hope that makes sense. So, for example, I mentioned I felt quite like tense. So maybe you were in, for example, like survival mode, and maybe you had to do a lot of healing and inner work to get out of that survival mode. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm part of this pile. It relates to me a lot. So Spirit Guides of Pile 2. If you don't resonate with this part so far, then I don't think this is your reading, because I'm seeing this as a huge theme. So Spirit Guides on my pile number 2s. How did people view them in the past? So we have the Three of Wands. We have the Queen of Wands in the reverse. I just want to check if my deck is upright or reversed. Okay, I see. So I think that card was meant to come out reverse. We have the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, and we have the High Priestess at the back of the deck. So at an early age already, people could already see that you were extremely gifted, you know, in some way. Maybe you were extremely in touch with your imagination, your emotions, your intuition, like your gut instincts. People may not have thought of you as intuitive in the past, but they may have thought that you're gifted in some way, or that you, I don't know how to describe that you just are able to sense things. Spirit guides of Pile 2, how do people view them in the past? We have the Hanged Woman. One more card, please. The Six of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. Clarify the Three of Wands, please. The Three of Swords. So maybe you healed inner child wounds to support the area of your life now. Healed your heart. I was drawn to the heart for you. I didn't know why. Healed your mental health, because I'm feeling my head now, a sensation in my head. And as this happened, I think your psychic gifts grew stronger. Okay, Spirit Guides of Pile 2. Clarify Queen of Wands reverse, please. We have the Nine of Pentacles. We have the Four of Swords. Clarify the Knight of Cups. the Lovers reverse, the Page of Cups. Clarify the Queen of Pentacles, the Five of Cups reverse. Clarify the Hanged Woman, please. The Death card reverse. And clarify Six of Pentacles reverse, the Six of Wands. Okay. At the back of the deck, we have Temperance. Okay, so my pile number 2's how people viewed you in the past. So, I guess this is how people view you. They may not know the full story or everything that goes behind this, but I am seeing a connection to the womb space and the throat chakra, or I am feeling that at least. As I, tap into the energy of your pile, I feel a lower back pain. And Spirit is guiding me to the solar plexus and the sacral chakra. So I think there's something here about in the past you going through childhood and being someone very creative, since we see the Three of Wands here and this energy of creativity. And as a child, I think people saw you as someone very loving, someone very cute. Yeah, you had like a certain type of creativity to you. You were very sweet. You were seen as someone with a huge imagination, very playful, and I think that imagination made you someone very creative, even more. Like, I'm seeing that very strongly, or at least that's how people viewed you in the past. And you were connected to your heart, but you weren't necessarily in that space where you had emotional intelligence yet. Of course, you were still a kid. So I'm seeing a little bit into childhood, and maybe you having certain sadnesses, griefs, unhappiness during childhood with the Three of Swords. And I think people did see it on some level, or see, when you were a teenager, something was not quite right here. Like, you weren't maybe getting the love you were supposed to with the Lovers in reverse. It's like you wore your heart on your sleeve for everyone, but I don't see you getting necessarily the same love you were putting out there. And so I feel something happened here where something almost broke your confidence. Something almost made you, I want to say, hide yourself with the Queen of Wands in reverse. Make you want to hide yourself, or at least this was how you were perceived in the past by the world, because I see people almost viewing you as someone that is meant to shine bright, is meant to stand out, is meant to take up space, is meant to be creative, meant to have this big imagination, very, very gifted. But I feel in some way the word shame. So maybe you were shamed for certain qualities you had, and you were taught to hide those qualities, hide those parts of yourself, make yourself small, And I think that's why the solar plexus and sacral chakra is coming up in your reading. In the past, people saw you go through many, many disappointments, but I don't think that exactly knew how to help you. With the Six of Pentacles in reverse, I think people could see that you weren't fully emotionally okay, but I don't think people fully knew what it was. Maybe they just saw the effect of it. Like, for example, when you were in school, when you were a teenager, when you were in college, like, people somewhat saw it, but they couldn't figure out what it was. Some of you may have dealt with people pleasing, perfectionism, not feeling good enough, not feeling confident in yourself, not being able to speak up as well. And so I see people seeing you in this perspective, but not really knowing how to help you or if it's in their place with the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Because Six of Wands makes me feel, Six of Wands, can relate to success, but it makes me think of career and work and school and things like that. So maybe it's like people at work, people at school, people at college, like in your early life before in the past, they couldn't really intervene. Okay, I'm getting that impression here for some of you. Whereas for others of you, it's like people wanted to help, but they didn't exactly know how to, or maybe no one knew what was happening behind the scenes. Because I think with the Six of Wands, maybe someone taught you to overachieve, or maybe someone taught you that it was in your worth to, achieve something big and to look like everything's going well, to look like it's almost like you were still functioning in the world. People viewed you as you were still doing quite well for yourself in school, in college, in early work life. Like you were still doing well for yourself. You were still talented. You were still doing well. You maybe got very good grades, and maybe you were still very talented at certain things, certain hobbies, certain passions, but it was like you were high functioning, but people could see emotionally you weren't fully okay. I don't mean to make this morbid, but I am seeing kind of storyline here, pal, too. So with the Death card in reverse, I think you wanted change, but you couldn't necessarily have that change happen yet. With the Hanged Woman, you had to wait for it. Maybe with the Queen of Pentacles next to the Hanged Woman, you had to wait to create your own life. So, for example, maybe you didn't grow up in the best family. Maybe there was no love in your family, but maybe you had to find a way to move out first, and then after you moved out and created your own life, you were able to heal with the Four of Swords. Since we see a woman journaling here, then you were able to fully look at these disappointments. Because I feel here, it wasn't that you ignored it or didn't want to change, but it was not in your capacity yet to be able to see these deep internal disappointments, deep pain, deep sadness. But I feel as you grew older, I see people looking at you as someone that's extremely loving, someone that wears your heart on your sleeve, but you may have not always had reciprocal connections around you in your early life, in the past, in terms of love, relationships, family, friendships, or there were imbalances or disloyalty from others, but you were being completely loyal to them. And I think this all leads back to the inner child. And I see you healing your inner child. And that's where we get the storyline of you burning the book and completely changing your life story. So, Temperance at the back of the deck indicates you alchemizing, you healing from the past, healing from the toxicity. King of Cups behind that. Maybe you had people around you that were emotionally unavailable or emotionally toxic to you. So I see you needing to and going through a journey where you found self-love. So we have Temperance, which is the alchemization, the healing, the Devil, King of Cups, gaining emotional balance, emotional awareness, emotional maturity, emotional intelligence. That's how people saw you in the past after this huge change, this huge shift in your energy. But it took a lot of patience to get here. It took a lot of internal work. It took a lot of focus within. Focus on your mental health, focus on your emotional health. And we have the Empress here. So you really had to find self-love through all of this. And this is how people were viewing you in the past. So how are people viewing this huge rebirth they went through in the past? We have the High Priestess. We have the Seven of Swords. We have the Ten of Pentacles. We have the Ten of Wands. So the way people saw it is they always knew something was off, but they couldn't quite put their finger on what it was in terms of where you grew up and where these kind of things you had to heal from stemmed from. They saw something was not right, but they couldn't quite put their finger on it. They saw intuitively, but they never quite knew the whole story. So I see, this was like a huge emotional weight for you to carry. But I see you letting go of this emotional weight. And in the Seven of Swords, we see this deception, because the Seven of Swords is about deception, people hurting us, people betraying us in your case. So I feel, we see this image of it being removed from her, almost like smoke, incense. It reminds me of incense. So people saw you go through a cleansing emotionally, cleansing yourself from the past, removing yourself from the past, letting go of the emotional baggage or weight bit by bit, and learning to trust your intuition more, to deepen your connection to your own inner intuition, your own self-love. You going on a path of coming back home to yourself and giving yourself the love you needed all along. So we have the Seven of Cups, the Nine of Wands, the Five of Pentacles. How are people viewing this big rebirth they went through emotionally? The King of Swords in reverse, the Tower, the Hermit in reverse, the Chariot, and the Page of Pentacles in reverse. The back of the deck we have Ten of Cups. So I see people viewing you in a way where you went through many challenges that a child was not supposed to go through, that a young person was not supposed to go through, that you didn't deserve that. That's how people are viewing it, and I think with the King of Swords reversed, I think a lot of people think many different things with the Seven of Cups, where we can't necessarily read everyone's mind, but I think most people, the way they view it is, this is a very challenging and chaotic situation, and a child is supposed to get their emotional needs met, but you never had that. And that's something everyone logically knows, but there are no words to describe, maybe the pain you went through. Like, people would never fully understand unless they went through it. And so I see with the Tower here, this depiction of this lady kicking down the tower and getting the crown, putting the crown back on her head. So it's like people view you now to have, and before, after this happened, to have this amazing strength within you to overcome adversity. I don't know how to say that word, but I'm hearing it. Challenges, overcome chaos, heal from it, alchemize it. That shows true strength, like a warrior spirit is how people are viewing you. I hear warrior spirit. And you truly moved past it. You've moved on from it. You've bettered yourself. You've found yourself. You've done a lot of internal work, and I think you gave yourself exactly what you needed in the past. And I think you rebirthed yourself. You leveled up in some way with the chariot. And now you're moving to much better relationships to yourself, but also others. Much more emotional vulnerability and intimacy and, deeper connections to others, where it's almost like you're learning from the people that hurt you and breaking that cycle there, not continuing the cycle. So this is where I'm going to leave your reading, pal, to. This was very heavy, but yeah, I'm really, really proud of you for, going through with this healing and really going within, because, I can't imagine how much pain you must have gone through, but what I can say is you are truly strong, and I'm so, so, so proud of you, pal, too. So this was your reading. I really hope this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye! Hi there, my pal number threes. If you chose this Larimar crystal and the Tarot of the Divine, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at how did people view you in the past, how they used to view you. Okay, so please be aware this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. And please also note how people view you doesn't necessarily determine who you are. This is just people's opinions. So please keep that in mind. Before we pull your actual cards that you chose, I felt called to closing my eyes and using clairvoyance and picking up on any feelings I feel in your reading, okay? So, spirit guides of pile 3, how did people view them in the past? How did people used to view them? Spirit is showing me earphones, music. Maybe you were someone in the past or still are, someone that very much loved music, someone that always had your earphones or headphones in. You had a very good music taste, and people always remember you having a sort of passion towards music. Spirit is also showing me making a wish on a dandelion. So there's something about you that embodied this kind of almost like childlike wonder of something. We see it as simple as, making a wish on a dandelion, but it symbolizes so much, like truly believing that, our wishes can come true and, the magic in the world. This must be my magical pile. Okay, and Spirit is also showing me a really, really tall building. I don't know why. Spirit is showing me people viewed you as very smart, very intelligent. And you just love to find different things that were fun for you, like finding fun through different things, different hobbies. Something about toast is coming through, I don't know why. And people also viewed you in the past as an open book, but you were also quite mysterious in some way. Very honest, very truthful. If anyone were to ask you, you wouldn't lie, you'd tell the truth. But it also took some time for, people to earn or gain your trust. Or, people just saw you as very mysterious in some way. Maybe sometimes people saw you as someone that preferred your alone time or preferred doing things on your own that were fun to you, but then still having those close friends of yours that, do you get what I mean? Maybe some of you had like a small friendship group. I guess not all the messages will resonate, but just take what resonates. Let's get a card from this Astral Realms Oracle deck. So, Spirit Guides of Pile 3. Spirit Guides of Pile 3. May I please look into how people used to view Pile 3 in the past? So we have Labradorite, South Node, and Boundaries, card 21, which is so interesting. I felt my jaw almost like become very stiff during a reading, and usually that happens with me sometimes, so I didn't know if it's just me or if it's part of the reading, but the jaw usually relates to our throat chakra. And when we clench our jaw, if any of you have ever dealt with clenching your jaw, it's because well, in my opinion, from my own personal experience, it may not resonate with everyone. We are holding on to emotions with the moon that we want to say, but we're not necessarily letting out in some way. So with South Node here, Labradorite, Boundaries, I feel like how people viewed you in the past is maybe that you felt certain emotions, but you had a hard time expressing it. Maybe you had a hard time fully, telling people how you feel. Okay, let's look at your tarot cards. Spirit Guides of Pile 3. Spirit Guides of Pile 3. How did people view them in the past? How people used to view them in the past? We have the Page of Pentacles showing up first. We have the Judgment card. How did people view Pile 3 in the past? We have the King of Wands. I heard the word eccentric. How did people view Pile 3 in the past? We have Justice, the Page of Swords, the Knight of Cups, we have the Queen of Cups. Interesting that I pulled the Queen of Cups and the Nine of Wands, and as soon as I showed you these two cards, I'm hearing it's about to start raining. Okay, we have the Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, clarify Seven of Swords, please. Eight of Wands. Clarify Nine of Wands, please. The Knight of Wands. And the Five of Wands. Okay. Okay, I think I understand what I'm seeing here. Clarify the Page of Pentacles, please. The Knight of Coins and the King of Wands, please. The Hermit. And the Four of Wands. Okay. At the back of the deck, we have the Hierophant. Okay, my pile number 3s. How people used to view you in the past. I'm seeing people viewed you when you were a child, when you were a teenager, and in your younger adulthood, or just in the past in general. Take it as it resonates as per your own life. I see people viewing you as someone that very much cared for animals, very much cared for other human beings, had such a caring heart with the Queen of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. You had a certain type of curiosity to you with the Page of Swords, like this kind of childlike curiosity where you just wanted to know different things. Okay, and it kind of reminds me of Alice in Wonderland. Maybe you reminded people a little bit of Alice in Wonderland in some way. There's something about you always being in your own world. I'm hearing that song Lonely, I'm So Lonely. I think it's by Akon. But I think you grew up maybe like as for some of you as an only child, or you had siblings but you didn't always feel so close to them, or you just felt very much like you couldn't really count on anyone in your younger years or in the past. And I see you utilizing that alone time and learning to have fun while you're alone with the Hermit and the Four of Wands. So I see people maybe seeing you as a little bit introverted throughout, the past a little bit. But then when you are out in public, you are a lot of fun to be around with the Four of Wands. But I think you've just gone through life used to learning to find that fun on your own, that you now enjoy your own company. Or at least that's how people viewed you in the past. And people viewed you in the past as someone very in touch with your own emotions, someone very empathetic, very sweet, very kind, very caring. But I think you didn't always trust people easily. And I think this is because of certain challenges you went through with the Nine of Wands. Maybe like in your home life, or maybe it was bullying with the Five of Wands, or maybe you had a childhood where like the siblings were always fighting with you, or your mother and father were always fighting. I don't know. There's something about growing up and seeing conflict around you all the time with the Five of Wands, and seeing people around you that aren't necessarily emotionally intelligent, that don't know how to emotionally regulate, that kind of just go into the situation head first, react first, say things first, and then only think about what they've said later, rather than truly thinking about what they're going to say first and then saying it. I see very emotionally reactive people surrounding you in your younger formative years. And as a result of that, I see you maybe not wanting to be like them. I see you not wanting to be emotionally reactive. I see you maybe wanting to continue being this very sweet, loving, deep, empathetic person, very in touch with your own emotions and feelings, but still, trying to understand what's happening around you. I feel you kind of going through life finding comfort in your own world, finding comfort in your own magical world, like music. Maybe some people viewed you as quite creative or artistic when you were younger, or in your past, quite eccentric, very expressive, like the peacock. You were someone that truly stood out, like the peacock. You were seen as a very colorful person and colorful individual that is very passionate about certain things you enjoy. Very expressive in a way where if you like something, you are truly going to be yourself. You're not afraid to be yourself. That's how people viewed you in the past. Even at work, at school, like whatever energies we're picking up here. For some of you, it could be younger years, college. Like, I'm just seeing something here with the Seven of Pentacles about work, school, something along those lines in the past where People viewed you as a person that doesn't really care too much about what people think. You just want to be yourself, very authentic to you, very eccentric, very colorful. So that's how people viewed you in the past. Very fun to be around. Maybe even in like maybe even like with the Four of Wands here, like in college days or in your young adulthood, people could have viewed you as the life of the party or just very fun to be around. You know, I think a lot of people truly enjoyed your presence, truly admired you, and wanted to be closer to you, thought you were very mysterious, even with this hermit where they didn't fully know what was going on in your life. And I think you had certain people around you where they maybe saw that you were someone very much in the sweet energy, very sweet, very nurturing, very kind, very connected to your own emotions and your own depth and your own inner magic. But I think you didn't want to be like these emotionally reactive people that sometimes in situations where there were challenges in your connection or where let's say a friend in the past did something and they could see the truth. They could see that you were maybe upset about the situation, but maybe you kept quiet. And, you know, with the Eight of Wands, tried to move forward and say, oh, I'm okay, like nothing's wrong. But then they could see that you were not okay. You know, that's what I pick up from the Seven of Swords and Eight of Wands, opposite justice, because it's like, Seven of Swords isn't always a negative energy. In this case, I see it as almost like self-sabotaging or self-betraying, where maybe some people kind of thought like, because you're not speaking up, are you hiding something? Are you truly the sweet person you show the world to be? Which I think is quite, I think it's BS that some people thought that, because it's like, if they knew your circumstances and what made you kind of keep your mouth shut to keep the peace, they'd understand why you did that. But I feel as you've gone through life, maybe you've worked on this a little bit, because we have the Seven of Pentacles here next to the Nine of Wands and Seven of Swords and the Hermit. So I feel like maybe you looked within and learned from it and worked on yourself, and I think you worked on finding emotional regulation, being someone that's able to regulate your emotions rather than put that on another person, but also learn the balance of being able to speak our truth, being able to set those boundaries, have those more difficult conversations. This is what you were learning with the Page of Swords. To, yes, still be this loving person that wears your heart on your sleeve, but also allow yourself to speak your truth and not self-betray. So I see people viewing you like in the past as someone that is healing from these challenges, is changing in some way, transitioning in some way, transforming. And I see people viewing you in a way where you're now starting, or before in the past, starting to become more comfortable with boundaries, comfortable with speaking your truth. It took getting outside of your comfort zone and being self-aware enough to see those things within. So I see people like in the past viewing you as someone that went outside of your comfort zone to heal these things within yourself in order to find that balance, in order to find your own internal truth of, you know, being able to be your authentic, eccentric self in the world, have people around you that accept you for you and celebrate your personality for you, and have people around you that are also able to emotionally regulate. And I think maybe that's kind of like the journey you went on, learning lessons of emotional regulation through people that were emotionally dysregulated, becoming that so that you never pass down those same cycles. It's kind of similar to Pal 2, but different in a way. Very different, but similar. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like I see you moving forward anyway with the Eight of Wands, and I see people viewing you as someone that, you had these challenges, but you didn't let it get you down. You had a lot of strength, and I think as you started to find your own inner power, your own inner strength, you were able to move forward and create something different here. So the way people viewed you in the past is how you were this, and then you changed to this, the justice. How you went from very much like not speaking your truth to being someone very outspoken, to being someone that honors your own truth, knows yourself deeply, is yourself, your authentic self in the world, where you're still very much connected to your own emotions and to your own heart, but also protecting yourself more. So let's just end off with a few last cards. So how did people see pile 3 after this? We have the Nine of Swords. We have the Three of Cups. We have the Nine of Cups, the Four of Cups, the Queen of Wands, the Lovers, and the Five of Swords. Okay, so I have a bunch of extra cards too. So what I'm seeing here, how people viewed you in the past, I think overall you've remained consistent to this sort of image you've put out to the world. It's changed a little bit. It's transformed, but in the best possible way. In a way that gives people a lot of hope and inspires a lot of people, shows people, especially those that are going through similar things, that they too can work on themselves, grow, heal, understand themselves, gain their voice, But I feel your image that you put out to the world remained very much consistent and congruent. I don't know if that's the right word, but with that image you had of being someone, how I explained before, you were still that same person, but now you've just grown a lot more to find your own personal power, to still be this lover at heart, this lover at heart that has love for everyone around you, but you're no longer scared of losing people where you almost like self-sacrifice. You're no longer self-sacrificing. You're no longer self-betraying in order to keep people around you, in order to keep these relationships around you, these friendships, these lovers, whatever they are. So with the Queen of Wands, it's like how people were viewing you after this is you found your own inner confidence, you found your own inner personal power, and you are very much unapologetically standing tall within that, taking up space with that, believing that those that truly love you are truly going to want you to feel safe enough to speak your truth, to be your true self in the world. And I think with the Three of Cups, I think a lot of people, and the Nine of Swords, I think a lot of people were worried that you would maybe have people around you that wouldn't necessarily make you feel safe enough to be able to do this, or that you'd maybe have people around you that would manipulate you, or I'm just getting this intuitively, like I think some people were worried about you, were worried that you were naive, but I think I think not. I think you were just very in touch with your heart and your empathy. And I think even when people did certain things to you, you could maybe understand why they were doing that. Do you get what I mean? So I feel like you were very empathetic in a way, but now you've learned to balance that energy out. And I think now people are celebrating this new and improved version of you in the past, because now you are truly at a place where you once wished you were. Once you wished to be at this place now, and now you are this person. Does that make sense? So we have the King of Cups. We have the Ace of Cups. And that's what I spoke about before, like emotional balance, emotional regulation. We have the King of Swords, the Ten of Cups, and Temperance. So it's like I see you healing and alchemizing the self-betrayal wound, where it's like we have to self-sacrifice for people to love us, to have people stay in our lives, or to not become I'm looking at Beauty and the Beast, almost like this beast, the shadow version of self, to not become those people from the past. But I think you've learned to balance this loving version of self with this powerful version of self, this version of self that speaks your truth, that uses your voice as, your protection. Because I think later on, as you learn deeper about yourself and as you went on this healing journey, understanding yourself better, I think maybe what you saw was, in order for us to have those healthy relationships, they need to also accept what our emotions are. If we are emotionally vulnerable and share our emotions with them, although sometimes maybe it might not feel nice for them, because maybe they'd wish that we were feeling happy or something like that. It may not feel nice for them to see that maybe they hurt us or disappointed us or made us angry in some way, but they'd still be able to take that and work on themselves so that the relationship can improve and become healthier on both sides and become a happy thing to join in, you know what I mean? So basically what I'm trying to say here is I think people are now seeing you have much healthier relationships around you where they're truly healthy, where you truly look satisfied in your relationships right now, in your love life right now. Even if you are single, maybe there's something about you being that version of yourself you want to attract. And if you are that version of yourself you want to attract, then you're also magnetic to the love you want to attract. And for those that are in romantic connections, I see people viewing you right now as having very harmonic connections around you that serve you, that care about you, that care about your emotions too, that want you to feel good too. So I think this is how people started viewing you after this big change happened, where you got outside of your comfort zone and gained your own voice and your own power. So this is where I'm going to leave your reading. I really hope this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye!